Hello everybody, today I am reviewing Midsommar, directed by Ari Aster, starring Florence Pugh, Jack Rayner, William Jackson Harper, Wilhelm Blomgren, messed up their name completely, Will Poulter, and those are the main people of the film. Now, Ari Aster is a director that I have enjoyed, really enjoyed Hereditary. Hereditary was one of my favourite films of 2018. And I was hoping Midsommar was going to be that. Now, the plot of Midsommar is of these friends that go to this summer festival in Sweden, the Midsommar Festival. Everything's alright at first, but then some things don't seem to be quite right. Midsommar is this film. From the trailers I was very excited for it. I loved Hereditary. Hereditary was a film that was 2 hours and 9 minutes long, but it was still a really enjoyable film. But people moaned about sort of the runtime. I don't really care about runtimes on films, but when I saw this was 2 hours and 20 minutes, I was hoping, okay, it's just going to be fast-paced and fun, and it's going to be over the top, and it had an 18 rating, so I was very excited for it. When a film has an 18 rating in the UK, that is something that's quite rare, because a lot of the time we have studios that they could have got the 18 rated, they decided to put it down to a 15, but I was glad that this one had an 18 rating and did shock. I've seen a lot of disturbing movies, but this had moments that were shocking and very well done. Midsommar is a film that is an experience. It's a weird experience. After seeing it, I was still lost on what really to say about it. It's a film that plays with your mind. It's a film that there's so many little details throughout the whole film that it took me a little while to sort of think about it, look deeper into it. I'm not saying, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you've got to look deeper into a film, and yes, you can with films. A lot of people say, why can't we just enjoy a film for being a film? Because Midsommar has things planned out quite well. Throughout the whole film, Ari Aster has done these little subtle things throughout the film, pictures in rooms, certain other things that are throughout the whole film. You could call them Easter eggs, but it's not really, it's things that you know are going to happen further into the film. And it's very interesting the way that he does it. Florence Pugh is incredible in her role. She really sells the character. Every single person in this is good. Will Poulter brings some comedy to this. It does have its dark comedic moments, and when he is funny in it, he is very funny. He brings the comedy to the film, and that's one thing I liked about it. It's this film that does shock, but at the same time it does get you laughing. But there's also a lot in here that has you laughing for the wrong reasons. There's parts where you're not sure if you're meant to be laughing, but my cinema were laughing. There's bits that are so weird that you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? But everyone in the cinema was laughing because we were just surprised at what was happening on screen. It's odd, it's strange, but it looks beautiful, the whole film. It's a film that's shot really well. It's got this well thought out cinematography. Throughout the whole first part of the film, you have the way that characters have conversations is that someone else will be in a mirror. There's a scene where 3 characters are sat on a sofa and the other 2 characters are in the mirror, and I like how these shots are planned out. It's a beautiful film, like I said, cinematography is amazing, but does that make it a great film? I don't think so. Because there are some fantastic ideas in here. And I'm not about to slam on Midsommar because I did enjoy it, but there's part of me that still hasn't really wrapped my head around it. It's a film that has Wicker Man elements to it almost. It does feel at points like it was ripping off Wicker Man, especially with the ending it chooses to have. There's no spoilers, there's not going to be any spoilers today, but it does these sort of things. And there's a point round near the end where the way the script goes and the way that they've planned it out, it feels very similar to Hereditary. And some way the shots are done feel very similar to Hereditary. And I know when a director goes from having Hereditary as his debut and going into something like this, of course there's going to be similar things. But there's this, he's written this one, and the ending has something that's just way too similar to Hereditary, and people have been calling him, some reviews I've seen him call him a one-trick pony. But I don't think that is true. I think there is still some fantastic ideas in here, and it is a folklore movie. There's something deeper in here, and I feel there could have been a lot that was cut out because of its 2 hours and 20 minute long runtime. It does drag at moments. It's a ride. The film is a ride, but at points it's a slow ride. It's a small world at Disneyland. You know, it's a slow ride, but there's still fun to be had. Midsommar gets a 4 out of 5 from me. I don't want to go into it too much because I feel that if I did go into it anymore, I could spoil it. Because it's a film that is full of surprises and the gore in it is shocking. There are things that I didn't expect to see. There are moments where you're like, okay, wow. Normally BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification in the UK, used to ban some of the things that were in this film because it would be too graphic. But they're just straight up like, yep, It's fine now. There's a part around the end of the film where it sort of feels like something you would see in an art gallery, where, you know, people walk into the room and it's being projected onto a screen and everyone's got their arms crossed and they're nodding and calling it art. That's where the film sort of lost me a little bit. But it's still a very good film. 4 out of 5 it doesn't get a 5 because I think this is a film that I couldn't return to straight away. I think in probably in a few months I'll go back to it and I'll look more into those moments that happen. There's one thing that I forgot to say. This is a film that right from the opening and right through this whole sort of the first 20 minutes, there's this feel of dread, and there is something that is truly horrific at the opening of the film. This is a film that will shock, and it's a film that will also divide audiences. There will be people that will absolutely love it, and there will be people that will absolutely hate it. It was the same with Hereditary. When I saw Hereditary, there was quite a few people that did walk out. With this one, Midsommar, no one walked out. I think it's a film that, even when it's long runtime, you're still sort of captivated by it. You still want to know how everything's going to turn out. And, whoa, it's a strange one. That's what I'm going to say. Midsommar is a film you need to see. It's a horror that you need to see. A horror that you need to experience. Because it's not very often that we get something like this. I know we have had films that are like this, but for me, in the UK, we don't really get as many 18 rated films that are advertised properly. Like Halloween was one of the 18s that we got. Overlord was an 18. But this is one that is more sort of, not mainstream, but it's posted around London. People are going to see it. The screen that I saw it in was sold out. This is a film that a long time ago, when it would have come out, it would have just been an independent film. But because of Hereditary being so good, I'm very excited to see what Ari Aster does after Midsommar. I'm hoping he switches it up and does something a bit different, but still something that surprises me and is shocking. But that is my review of Midsommar. If you've seen Midsommar, say in the comments down below if you enjoyed it. That's all from me today. Thank you very much. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.